Omaha Poker is very similar to Texas Hold'em and features a lot of the same rules. In this video, we'll go over some of those similarities as well as some of the more unique aspects and help you get ready to play. Let's start with a few of the major similarities between the two games. The big ones are the blinds and the dealer button. In Omaha, these work the same way as they do in Hold'em. Once per round, you'll have to post a big blind, small blind, and get a chance to be the dealer. The blinds and the dealer button rotate around the table clockwise, following the completion of each hand, so everyone gets a turn. So before the cards get dealt, the player directly to the left of the dealer has to put out what's called the small blind, and the player to the left of that person puts out the big blind. Blinds are mandatory bets that are made before the players get to see their cards, basically to get the action started in a hand. The big blind is double the amount of the small blind, so if the small blind is $1, big blind would be $2. Again, exactly the same as Hold'em. Hand recognition is also the same. A full house still beats a flush, and so on. So let's take a look at the hand rankings, just in case you aren't familiar. At the bottom of the hierarchy, you've got your basic high card. So if you have nothing else but a king, let's say 3 of clubs, 5 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 10 of diamonds, and a king of clubs, that's your high card. Next is a pair. So if you've got a pair of 7s with nothing else in there, you've got a pair. Then we get to the 2-pair hand. Let's use that pair of 7s from the last example, but then place it with a pair of 3s. You've got your 2-pair hand. 3 of a kind is next on the rankings. So let's say you've got a 6, an 8, and 3 4s. You've got your 3 of a kind. Next we come to the straight. This is when your 5-card hand features a straight run of 5 cards in sequential order. So if you've got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of varying suits, you've got a straight. Next up is the flush. And this is a hand that features 5 cards from the same suit, but in a non-sequential order. So let's say you've got 5 clubs, but the numbers are all over the place. 3, 6, 8, 10, and queen, but again, all clubs. You've got a flush. Full house is next, and this is a hand that features a 3 of a kind and 1 pair to make up your 5 cards. So you've got 3 queens and a pair of 6s. Full house. 4 of a kind is the 3rd strongest hand in the rankings, and that's just exactly what it says. You've got 4 of the same card. So for example, you've got 4 8s in your hand. Next, straight flush. And this is like the flush as it features 5 cards from the same suit, but this time they're sequential. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of diamonds, straight flush. The last is the big one, the royal flush. 10, jack, queen, king, ace of the same suit. So like this example, spades. Royal flush. One last note is that the ace can be used in a straight of ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as the other end in the 10, jack, queen, king, ace. If you already have some general knowledge about the blinds, dealer button, and hand rankings from playing Hold'em, you're already halfway done to learning Omaha. So if all of this is the same, what exactly is different? Well, let's dive into that right now. The main difference, and practically the only one, is the number of cards that you're dealt. In Omaha, you get 4 cards, as opposed to the 2 that you get in Hold'em. These are called your whole cards. Now, that being said, unlike Hold'em, you have to use 2 of your 4 whole cards to complete your 5-card hand. You can't use 3 or 1 or play the board. You always have to use exactly 2 cards. Okay, you're dealt 8, 8, 8, king with your 4 cards. First thought is, great, I have triple 8s right off the bat. Wrong. You only have a pair of 8s, as you have to use 2 cards and only 2 cards. And to make matters worse, with that 3rd 8 in your hand, it only leaves 1 more 8 in the deck to try and catch 3 8s, and your 4 of a kind is out the window. Here's another example of a common mistake that can be made while playing Omaha. For this example, you're dealt ace of hearts, 6 of spades, 10 of clubs, and 3 of clubs. On the board, there's 3 of hearts, 7 of hearts, queen of hearts, king of hearts, and 5 of diamonds. Unfortunately, that ace of hearts in your hand won't complete the flush, as that sneaky having to use 2 cards rule comes into play again. Those are just a couple of examples on how having to use 2 out of the 4 hole cards dealt can be tricky until you get the hang of it. But starting with 4 cards also has a lot of upside. For example, having 4 cards gives you so many more possibilities of hand options as opposed to 2 cards, which is essentially why you play Omaha. A lot of Omaha players find Hold'em too slow and enjoy the extra strategy that comes with having 4 hole cards. Another similarity between Omaha and Hold'em is that the rounds and community cards are the same. You've got the flop, turn, and river. But with the 4 hole cards in Omaha, the cards you were going to use at the beginning of the hand might change drastically by the end. Right about now, you might be asking yourself what a good starting hand might be with 4 cards. Well, starting hands in Omaha are similar to Hold'em, surprise, surprise. So you still want to see your high cards and pocket pairs and so on. Here are some of the top starting hands in Omaha. Ace, ace, king, king. Ace, ace, jack, 10. Ace, ace, queen, queen. Ace, ace, jack, jack. Ace, ace, 10, 10. All of these top-ranked starting hands are double suited as well. What that means is that both your aces and kings are suited. For example, ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, king of hearts, and king of diamonds. These are just a few of the better starting hands you'll look for in Omaha. You'll also see bigger pots in Omaha compared to Hold'em. This is due to the 4 hole cards. Since the hand is changing so fast, a lot of players will stick around right up to the river or the end of the hand to see if they can catch something. The quality of hands will also change with 4 cards. You're going to see a lot more flushes, full houses, and those other high-quality hands that everyone loves so much. Because of the increased probability of great hands in Omaha, 3 of a kind isn't a very good hand, and most times won't win. Someone almost always has something better than 3 of a kind. Well, now you have the rundown on rules for Omaha. If you want a quick refresher on Texas Hold'em, make sure you check out our video on that game. But always remember, play within your limits and always gamble responsibly. To stay up to date on the latest game guides and strategy, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Gamble Online, the world's leading resource for online gambling information since 2008.